Okay, so this week we had a great chapter for Sukuna Kaisen compared to the last one. We saw some unfamiliar faces coming back as well as some surprises towards the end of it. So let's get right into it. So last chapter we saw Kusakabe facing off Sukuna and doing some pretty amazing sorcery stuff at a higher level, like using his simple domain without any binding vows and also expanding its range at will and cutting up Sukuna to some point. But it's Sukuna we are talking about here, so of course Kusakabe got murked at the end of this chapter. We then saw Ui coming to retrieve Kusakabe's body, which he has been doing with most of Sukuna's victims. But just as he was retrieving Kusakabe's body, Sukuna appeared and was about to kill him. We then saw Miguel appeared out of nowhere and saved Ui and was seemingly confident about fighting Sukuna. Which brings us to this chapter, where we see Miguel is not alone. He is with Laru. Now Laru is the same guy that we saw in Geto's group during the Jujutsu Kaisen 0 arc and as well as in the movie. And he is holding Kusakabe's body with his curse technique, which we will talk about further in the chapter. Moving on, we go into a flashback where Laru and Yuta are trying to convince Miguel to help them fight against Sukuna, to which Miguel refuses instantly, saying that why would he fight someone who might have a chance to defeat Gojo. So this is basically before Gojo fought Sukuna, and I find it funny that everyone had agreed to a plan B in case Gojo was defeated and were doing preparations for it way back then. But anyway, Laru tries to convince Miguel, saying that Sukuna would be exhausted after fighting Gojo and they would just need his help to kill Sukuna at the very end. And Yuta also explains that even if Sukuna would be defeated, they have the merger curse spirit to worry about. If it actually happens, Japan would be the last of the worries. Other countries would face its consequences as well. To which Miguel says it would be better for him to fight a Godzilla-sized curse spirit than Sukuna. And he also says that he would consider it only if Gojo himself come to him begging for his help. To which Yuta asks if him pleading would do the job, which is also funny again. We then see Laru and Miguel talking and reminiscing about Geto and why they followed him. Laru tries to convince Miguel one more time, to which he says he won't be doing this for revenge for what happened at the Shibuya arc, but will fight to mourn Geto's death. And he also sets certain conditions. He tells Laru that he will take the field only when both Gojo and Yuta are defeated, plus only when Sukuna couldn't use his domain expansion, and lastly he wants Laru to fight with him as well. Now back to the fight, we see Laru and Miguel discussing about the current Sukuna and how he is unable to use his domain expansion, as well as his reverse curse technique output is also weakened with a damaged heart and limbs. We then see Laru use his curse technique where he summons a giant cursed energy hand or something like that and smashes Sukuna to a wall. His curse technique is called Hard Catch, which is basically lets him summon this huge cursed energy hand at will, and when damaged the hand would disappear, but he can summon it once again, and the damage that he takes is about 1/10 of the damage received by the hand itself. Now Sukuna of course isn't fazed by this and instantly showers Miguel and Laru with a barrage of dismantles, but Miguel dodges all of these slashes, which is shown in an amazing sequence, and Sukuna is also intrigued by this. This happened because Miguel used his curse technique called Hakuna Lana, which is when the beat etched into Miguel's body allows him to expel curses and enhance his own physical abilities, which is basically fighting in the rhythm, I guess, but it also expels curses or cursed energy, which is also interesting, and also buffs and debuffs him at the same time. Anyway, it's complicated at this point, which makes me think, did he also use it against Gojo while fighting him in Jujutsu Kaisen 0 arc? I don't know. If he had, he still got beaten by Gojo, so that's that. We go into another flashback once again where Gojo is talking about Miguel's technique and how unique it is. He also says that Miguel's technique is interesting, can be menacing with Miguel's physique, and also passes some questionable comments which I won't get into much here. But back to the fight, we see Miguel parry some Sukuna's attacks and lands a massive punch on Sukuna. At the same time though, Sukuna is hit with a supernova from the back, which is from Choso. Yeah, Choso is back. We knew he wasn't down for the count, but well, he's back for now. Sukuna throws some rocks at Choso to distract him, but then Yuji suddenly comes from above and directly lands on Sukuna, which is again showed in a very cool sequence. As the fight continues, we learn that the release of a world-cutting dismantle by Sukuna needs to use a hand sign known as Enma 10, which is the same hand sign that Sukuna uses for his domain expansion. But while fighting Gojo, Sukuna lost his left hand to Gojo's final purple hollow, and as this was before his Here era transformation, Sukuna made a binding vow to void all the conditions of world-cutting dismantle in order to defeat Gojo. But in his current state, Sukuna not only needs to perform the hand signs and chants, but also needs to specify the trajectory of the dismantle via his palm. Moving back to the fight, as we see Yuji and Sukuna sparring somewhat, Maki jumps in and cuts one of Sukuna's arms, and Sukuna is surprised seeing Maki recover so fast after eating a black flash from him. This is seriously amazing, and I'm so happy to see my queen again, that she has recovered from eating Sukuna's black flash, which wasn't just a black flash, it was Sukuna's black flash at 200%. Now Sukuna only has his right arms and his reverse curse technique isn't functioning at optimum level, so Yuji thinks this is the best time to finish off Sukuna as he can't use a world cutting dismantle. Just when Yuji is thinking all this, having high hopes, they are instantly crushed by Sukuna as he uses another black flash to punch Laru, to which I think he's down for the count because he and Maki for eating a black flash from Sukuna and getting back up. Now we have seen that Gojo regained his reverse curse technique output after landing a second black flash, and I guess it would be the same case with Sukuna. We don't know yet, but at this point I don't know how we gonna defeat Sukuna. He's like the Grim Reaper coming for the next victim one by one. There is no break next week, which is an awesome news, and yeah, let's see what happens next. If you like this format of me drawing some highlights of the chapter while talking about it, let me know in the comments below. I will be covering further chapters of JJK and some other series as well. I'm trying to make something from my love for anime, manga and art, so it would really help me if you would like the video. Subscribe if you wish. With that being said, this has been Adra and I will see you soon.